Speaker recognizes Representative Jones.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to give an honor to the Holy Father, the King of all Israel. Say I'm happy to be here. Today is a particular honor for me because, let's face it, statistically, it's unlikely for me to be here, but we made it, And so I wrote down some words, and there's also some stuff I want to say that came to me when I was sitting down, but I'll go ahead and read this speech, everybody. When I think about me arriving to this point in life, I must echo the words of the notorious B.I.G. It was all a dream, but not really, though. I tell people all the time that before I got into politics, I always wanted to be a spy. But for some reason, I ended up campaigning for city council in 2015. And I can neither confirm nor deny if I was a spy or not, because you know the saying, if I tell you, I have to kill you. And I love you all too much to go that route. And so since my life took a completely different route, I'm surely thankful for all the experiences I've had, all the people I've had a chance to meet. And I got here because years ago, my parents and others, they used to drag me around the community, volunteering with organizations like the Black Caucus Foundation in Detroit, ran by the Stallworth family, who some of us know, and various places across the world with our church, the Spiritual Israel Church in this Army. Running for city council in 2015 seemed like a random occurrence, but looking back on some of those times, I can now see the process that tailored me into the man I am today. And by being open to others' thoughts and ideas and stepping out on faith, I was led here to the legislature. It's been a phenomenal time. Not only have I had the honor and privilege of being the state rep, but I've been blessed to be an example to so many young people of what's possible. And I've had some interesting situations and circumstances happen in my life, but what is life without a little disruption? Disruption allows us to grow and develop if we're willing to be a student of life. And there's so much I can say about our work here and abroad, but I would like to continue to write my story in real time each and every day. And I would like to encourage you all to stay tuned, because there's a lot on the way that I look forward to doing. And there's a lot I can say about a lot of you all too, but I don't want to get any of us in trouble after making it this far, since we're almost out of here. But I just look around, Karen, Amos, Tommy, Jason. There's so many stories I have, but I don't want to take up the time. And so the story I'll talk about that came to me when I was sitting down. I used to run track back in the day, years ago, like decades ago when I was in high school, probably 1 decade ago. But there's this one race that I had, and I ran 800. And so for a while, I had wanted to break the 2-minute mark, so I can get under the 2 minutes. And I was at an invitational, and I used to hawk people. So I used to let them go ahead and run. I was fast. I could catch up and get them. On this particular race, though, I caught up, but I got boxed in, and so I got boxed in right at the last 200. And when I got in the box, I never came out the box. It was tricky. And so I stayed in the box the whole time. We ended up finishing the race. I broke the 2-minute mark, but I didn't win the race. And so I think I got 158 or something that time. It's a little fast. And so, when I think about 2 things I learned from that race is just to exhaust all opportunities, exhaust all resources, and really just don't get boxed in. And that is just not something that I would like to say is something real, because, a personal story happened to me. In December 2018, after we won my second election, my family had got evicted from the house, one of the houses I grew up in. And I was younger. I wasn't really involved in all the day-to-day operation, things that parents do. And so it caught me off guard. And so for the past, 3-4 years, I have been, I like to say I've been homeless, because I was renting homes, the family wasn't together, we were in different places. And so, over these last few years, I've really been putting a lot on the table. I've been leaving it all on the table. I've been really just grinding and working, doing everything I could do, because I want to see my family back together. I want us to all be in the same household. I want even other family members to be able to come so we can host them like we used to do back in the day. And so the testimony that I have here today is because I've definitely unboxed myself. I've released the shackles. You know, I don't allow myself to stay in one lane. I've really gotten involved in a lot of different things, and encouraged my family to do also. I just bought a block in my hometown to build a family home that we're closing on the property for it, and things are really looking up, but it's because I had to change that mindset, you know, of being, you know, a lot of things happen to us in life. And regardless of what happens to us in life, we have the opportunity to be as great as we want to be, to do what we want to do, and have what we want to have. And so for a moment, I had let that situation kind of weigh on me, you know, but I said, you know what, I'm still alive. I have an opportunity to do something different. And so I'll be excited that after I leave here, you know, after helping other people get their lives together and solve their problems, that I've solved the problem in my own personal life. And so I'm definitely happy to say that many of you all, I'm sure nobody really knew about that, but many of you all have inspired me and impacted me in ways you may not even know from our conversations and from just a relationship we've cultivated. And so I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. And we can go to church real quick. So I say, look at your neighbor and say, neighbor. Y'all, look at your neighbor. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, there is no limit. Y'all can say, you can trust me. I ain't going to make you say nothing bad. We're going to start again. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, there is no limit when God is in it. Amen. All right, well, peace and loving as always. Holla.